I think that Celebrini has a hat trick tomorrow.
Okay.
And I think that line, McKinnon, McDavid, Celebrini line, if they do keep that line together, I think they have 5 or 6 goals.
5 or 6 goals, okay.
I don't think that's crazy.
What's good, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I am Ishan here with Elias. We are the brothers in the box, and Olympics is here, specifically hockey.
We have made it.
It's been more exciting than ever.
It's been absolutely amazing to see the NHLers back at the international stage. We've gotten to see almost the whole group stage now. We're recording this on Saturday afternoon after, actually during the third period of the US Denmark game.
Currently, I think it is 5-3.
It is 5-3 currently. Jake Gensel just put the US back up 2 goals. But what a group stage it has been, with some upsets, with some drama, with some injuries. Out of all of that, Canada has reigned supreme.
Canada is looking unstoppable right now.
They're looking better than ever, to be completely honest.
Better than Four Nations.
Okay. I think better than Four Nations is a stretch because they haven't played the level of competition that they have in Four Nations. But
fair.
Bennington's looked really good. Thompson has been locked in. The defense has been on point. McDavid is playing unbelievable.
And okay,
unbelievable.
And let's not kid ourselves here. Like, we knew that was gonna happen. You know, like these players are gonna step up. But everyone is stepping up. It's not just like the star players are doing what they do. Everyone on that team is playing amazing.
And everybody has slotted into a position where they know their place and they're playing that place.
Like, it's not selfish hockey, you know?
It isn't.
They win as a team and they haven't lost as a team, and hopefully that never happens.
That doesn't happen this but if you go and you look at the ice time, the splits for Canada in that first game against Czechia, McKinnon played 14 minutes.
Yeah, like,
and he never plays 14 minutes in the NHL.
No, like you think about, like, they talked so many times about this on the broadcast, but McKinnon is one of those star players that plays so many minutes in an NHL game, and that's just how it is because he's so good.
Reinhart played 10 minutes.
The fact that
when's the last time you think Sam Reinhart played 10 minutes in a hockey game?
The fact that all these star players are taking the little amount of ice time that they are
and doing something special with the ice time that they have.
Yeah, it's not like they're not scoring either.
Exactly.
Their scoring hasn't gone down. It's still as high as ever.
I think McDavid is just happy to be playing on a team that has depth. To be honest,
I agree. It's not just his line that scores, although his line does score a lot.
Yeah, and he started the tournament off with that huge hit.
Honestly, setting the tone in both games.
To be completely honest with you, he's just looked absolutely stellar. Started with Macklin, Celebrini, and Tom Wilson, and has now shifted to a very top-heavy first line of McDavid, McKinnon, Celebrini.
But is it even top-heavy because everyone else is so good?
I think it is.
The top 3 the point leaders in the NHL all on the
one line that's absolutely insane. You know, what do you do if you're John Cooper and you need a little bit more depth against a team like the States?
Yeah, I think.
Do you go back?
I think, honestly, if it's working, you keep it how it is. I wouldn't, if I was John Cooper, I wouldn't be worried about the bottom lines either. They're all very, very good NHL players. They can all hold their own. And, if for some reason you see something missing on those bottom lines, then, of course, go back to where it was more depth with McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid, all on each of their own lines. But I like the lines that are happening right now. I like that Sidney Crosby, Marner, Mark Stone line. I like the McDavid line, how it is right now. And then you have basically the Florida Panthers line.
Yeah, the Panther line.
And then you have that bottom line with all the rest of the players. Bo Horvat, Tom Wilson, and Seth Jarvis. I don't know how it was before.
100%, yeah. No, so just to recap Canada's games, we started out with against Czechia on Thursday morning, 7:40, and it was a barn burner to be
going into the first period. It looked like a close game.
I think it was a close game to start off with.
It looked back and forth, like how good Olympic hockey should be. And then,
exactly, and then 6 seconds left in the first period, McDavid to Makar from the point, who shoots, and it gets tipped by Celebrini for the first goal of the Olympics for Team Canada.
Big goal
and
for Celebrini
big
as
goal for
well.
Celebrini. I think it set the pace for his tournament as a whole, and then, then the floodgates were open.
Yeah, as soon as that first goal got scored, they knew the tone was set in the first period, and they just carried that through to the second period.
Yeah, exactly, and, Stone got one. Horvat scored a beauty.
Honestly, and also for Stone's goal, that Marner
That Marner
pass was
sauce
so
is
nasty.
it's so beautiful.
It's right on their tapes every time.
Um, and then, McKinnon had to get one, and then Suzuki's goal was a kind of a fluke. It went off McDavid's stick, and
I'm pretty sure it was a pass to
it was
Suzuki,
a pass to Suzuki, and
and he
I
was trying to
think
corral the puck and then shoot it, but I
move
think
it
he
to the
accidentally tipped it.
he was trying to
Yeah,
move it to the forehand, and instead
he accidentally tipped it up.
he did tip it up, and it led to a goal. Canada had 36 shots. Innington had a 26 save shutout. He looked really solid,
Yeah, honestly,
really
like
poised.
all the stats on the broadcast were saying, Logan Thompson has been one of the better goaltenders of the last 2 seasons, and Binnington is like last in a bunch of stats in the NHL. And then you go and he has this game, and it's like you think about just like how much that like nationality of and playing for Canada matters to you, and you step up on those big moments, and that's what
There
Binnington does.
is there is nothing you can tell me that is gonna stop me from saying that the man who should be in net for the rest of the tournament going forward is Jordan Binnington. And give him a confidence game tomorrow.
I agree.
Give him another shutout against
It
France.
would be
Do you
amazing.
think Alex Texier is putting France isn't putting more than, I wanna say, 8 or 10 shots on goal?
I wouldn't even be surprised if it's a huge blowout. Like one of those World Juniors game like a couple tournaments ago where they would play
Against Germany
Latvia
or
or
Germany. Yeah,
Germany. Yeah.
but Ishan, what's your score prediction for tomorrow's game?
Honestly, this may be a little bit insane, but firm score prediction, I think 12 is too much. I think 9 is too little, so I'm gonna go 11-0.
I was actually thinking 11,
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy.
and we already saw an 11-0 game today,
Yeah.
with the Finland-Italy game.
Honestly, I was not expecting that. Finland lost their first game to Slovakia.
And we'll get to that later on.
Yeah,
Um,
but a good big game from them.
big game from them today. I think that Celebrini has a hat trick tomorrow,
Okay.
and I think that line, McKinnon, McDavid, Celebrini line, if they do keep that line together, I think they have 5 or 6 goals.
5 or 6 goals,
I
okay.
don't think that's crazy.
I don't think it is either. You have Celebrini who's gonna be the one that most likely might score a lot of those goals, and then McKinnon's obviously gonna get 1 or 2.
Yeah, and
And who knows, McDavid gets 1 as well, like
exactly, exactly. But moving on to Canada's second game, they played yesterday at 12:10 Pacific, so prime time, I guess, for this side of the world, not prime time over there. It's a little late. I think that's a game start of 9 o'clock in Milan.
yeah, it's much more beneficial for here because then you don't have to wake up at 7:40 on a long weekend, but,
It,
it's okay.
it is what it is,
Mm.
No, but Canada outshot Switzerland 39-25. McDavid got the first, opened the scoring with 5:45. It was a pretty nice goal on the power play.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great pass from McKinnon. That McKinnon-McDavid chemistry is unmatched,
Yeah,
so
and then Switzerland answered right back, with P.S. Suter scoring, on their power play. And it seemed like it was going to be a high paced, it was very quick hockey, very high level. A lot like the neutral zone was very clogged, so it was really difficult to get clean entries into the zone.
yeah,
That's
that
something that I
the
noticed.
the Canada power play looked a little bit shaky at one point.
Yeah, and then with as it goes, Canada in the second period just opened the floodgates, and you had Harley's goal. I think was it in the first? I think it was in the first, right?
I believe so.
I think Harley scored. McDavid scored back to back, 2-0,
And then they
and
answered
then
back.
and then P.S. put one home
That
for
that would that
2-1.
would have made more sense, I think.
And then Celebrini got one, and then Crosby got one. And I just want to talk about this Crosby goal because they released a photo of McDavid and Celebrini like hugging each other and celebrating Crosby's goal. And I think that's just really cool to see because these two players grew up watching Crosby play for Team Canada when they were younger. And now to see him score while they're also scoring goals is
Is
just
is insane.
it's beautiful to see, and McKinnon gets his second of the tournament as
Obviously he's gonna
He's
do
gonna
that,
get one, yeah. No, but another dominant performance. Unfortunately, there was a couple, an injury that happened that was pretty severe.
Yeah, so in that game, Kevin Fiala got injured. The injury is still undisclosed, but when watching the hit back, he got a little bit tangled. Thomason went to go hit him, and then he got a little bit tangled when falling down, and it looks like something happened to his lower body. It looked like a lower body injury. But yeah, it was really unfortunate. He had to get stretchered off.
Yeah,
And
probably an MCL,
something like that.
something like that.
Yeah, but he had surgery. He's ruled out for the Olympics, out for the rest of the season.
Unfortunately, yeah,
So yeah,
for him. So
you never wanna see that.
yeah, it's a tough showing for him. He put it all on the line.
Yeah.
One could say he laid it all on the line.
Okay, alright.
No. Prayers for him for a speedy recovery. We won't be playing LA this year in the playoffs as Oilers fans, but they probably won't make the playoffs. But
You never know, you
I'm just
never
being
know.
realistic, okay? I'm just being realistic. Me.
Speaking of another team that didn't ma are not gonna make the playoffs, another player that got injured, is Josh Morrissey.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate blow for Team Canada. He got injured in that first Czechia game. I'm still unsure as to what happened.
I didn't really see the injury, like, I feel like he got injured and I just never saw him for the rest of the game, but
He might have
there's
tweaked
there's
something.
no replays or anything that I
Yeah.
saw.
No, it's really tough for him because, as you might remember, at Four Nations last year, he couldn't play in the final because he was so sick that they had to take him back to the hotel.
Yeah, he
Um,
couldn't even be there to watch the
yeah, which
game.
is just so tough because as you guys know, these hockey players have waited their whole lives to play for their country.
Yeah.
And to have that experience kinda taken away from you is just it's tough to see, and Isha and I were looking at the rules for the Olympics seeing, oh, that Canada brought 7 defensemen, but what's the play, and how does this affect the team moving forward? Like, can they call the likes of Evan Bouchard to come fill his place? And the answer is no. Even if Morrissey is ruled out for the whole tournament, even though Fiala is ruled out for the whole tournament,
No other
you
players can be
can't
brought.
call anybody else to come fill their spot.
The roster that you fully decide is set in stone.
The roster that you start the game with.
Yeah.
If you decide to make a roster change before you play your first game, that's fine. But after that, and they're very on time with this, the game starts, that's it. That's your roster for the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated how on time the Olympics have been compared to NHL. And I think it's going to take some getting used to after NHL comes back because the discrepancy in NHL, it's crazy. You can have a game that starts 3 minutes after the puck drop, the supposed puck drop. You could have a game that starts 15 minutes after the supposed puck drop, but more often than not, it's about 7 to 8 minutes after.
Yeah, like, it's good to see, like, when it's listed that you have to wake up at 7:40, you have to wake up then. Just the puck is gonna drop then. It's not just like, there's gonna be 10 minutes of, whatever happens, warm-ups, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, it's gonna happen then, so you have to be up. But the only, like, silver lining to it is, in these injuries, at least for Josh Morrissey, is he was still able to watch the games. He was able to watch the Switzerland game with Marchand, who wasn't playing.
Yes.
Seth Jarvis was in for him, and Binnington in the press box.
Yes, Bennington in the press box. Yeah, I think tomorrow give Benner the game.
Yeah, I don't think you move to Darcy Kemper.
No, there's no reason.
I don't yeah, I think you've felt out both the goaltenders that, you kinda want playing this tournament, but yeah, I think you go back to Binnington as well.
Yeah, and just to pivot to kind of the other teams in the tournament. Currently, as we started with, the U.S. are not looking like that powerhouse team.
Yeah, I think, yeah, if we move to Group C, me and Elise both had the idea that going into the Olympics, the US would have the easiest group by far.
And
'Cause
and I think that still remains true.
I think, like, obviously Denmark isn't a horrible team. They have solid players. They have, like, the likes of Nikolai Ehlers, Bjorkstrand, I believe, and you said Freddie Anderson,
Yes. Who isn't playing today,
who
actually?
isn't playing. But, like, you have these decent players on your team, but, it's the US, like, they're a powerhouse team. They have all NHL players, and then you have teams like Italy, and then who else? Latvia. No,
Lat
not Italy. Sorry,
Not Italy.
Latvia and
Yeah, yeah.
Germany.
Not Italy.
Not Italy.
Latvia and
Latvia and
Germany.
Germany.
Yes.
And okay, obviously the US was gonna beat Latvia, but for a little bit in those games, like, you you saw the US not looking as scary as they did in Four
Four
Nations, I
Nations,
would
yeah,
say.
no, for
Like,
sure.
it's not a crazy thing to do. Like, Germany beat Denmark.
And then Latvia beat Germany.
Yeah, so, like, it's a little bit of an interesting group, but I think Germany will be the US's biggest test, for their final game. I think obviously Denmark put up a fight. I don't think this game is gonna end closer than it already is right now, with it being 5-3, but
And I think you gotta give props to Denmark for their defensive structure. They're very defensively sound, and, it was a little bit of a fluky goal that went in for Swayman as that lead-taking goal for Denmark
yeah.
in the first period. But at the end of the day, there can be no excuses from the US.
Yeah, like,
They have
you
a stellar team. They have amazing forwards. They have an amazing back end. They have amazing coaching staff and the Vezina winning goaltender.
of last year, which who hasn't obviously played up to his standards, but
But
still.
still, there should be no excuses, and now you have the US with 6 points in the group, Germany and Latvia tied at 3 points apiece, and then Denmark with 0. And what happens tomorrow? That's the real question, because the US should go out there and beat Germany, and, if it's a little bit closer and maybe Germany sneakily gets it to OT,
I
I don't
think
know.
I think they could definitely try. I would very much like to see Germany put up a fight, but I don't know how well they would do. The US is such a stacked team, and, like, it's gonna be difficult to compete, especially on those 3rd and 4th lines where they have a little bit less emphasis on those NHL players.
It's just Isha and I were just talking about this before we started recording. It's just the US is not looking as powerful as you might have expected them to.
Yeah, like, they have an easy group, so realistically, they should be steamrolling every team, and obviously, they're still settling into the tournament as well, but I would expect a little bit more from them. Like, I think if they're gonna show me that I should be scared of Team US when they play Canada, which I think they most likely will, I think they need a statement win tomorrow.
Yeah, and the US is gonna end with a goal differential of probably plus. I'm guessing they go up 3 goals against Germany.
Yeah.
They win by 3 goals. What 3 plus 3 today? Because their game just finished 6-3, and then 4 the other day, so 10. Canada's already at 9,
So, like, yeah, you look
just
at
with the two games.
yeah, and obviously you can compare the teams that we've played. It's like we played Czechia, which I believe is stronger than any other team in that US group.
Yeah,
And then also, Switzerland is also a very,
of a good
very
hockey
solid
nation.
team.
Yeah, they have a few good NHLers. They play a good high paced
I think,
game of
yeah,
hockey and style of hockey,
I think the chemistry from their team was really, really good.
and evident as well, 100%.
But yeah, like obviously France is not up to par on any of those teams, but I just think Canada's shown that they're more dominant than the US.
100%. And you could say that, yeah, the US doesn't have any hockey nations. Oh, sorry, the US has only hockey nations in their group, because I would say that Germany, Latvia, and Denmark are all hockey nations. France isn't really a hockey nation, but at the end of the day, it's you still have to show up.
I agree.
And to not only have given up goals and multiple of them, to have games where you're not holding the lead against these teams, that's what worries me, especially.
I agree,
You
yeah.
can't give up the lead to Latvia 1-0.
You should never be down. That's the issue.
You can't give up the lead to Denmark twice.
Yeah, because the thing is when a team, like, especially moving into the knockout rounds, when you go up in a game, they're gonna do the best to make sure that you don't score. They may put that mentality where they're just gonna try and play as defensive minded as possible.
That's what you saw from Denmark today.
Yeah, you just stop them from scoring, and sometimes it won't work because obviously the offensive firepower of the US is very good. If it does work, then you're it's gonna be very difficult for you to come back.
It is, yeah, 100%. 100%. Let's move to Group B, because this is the only group that is now finished.
And probably the most surprising
Oh,
group, I would say,
100%.
out of all of them, even
100%.
though Team USA hasn't done to their part, they're still winning all their games, so
100%. Yeah. No, absolutely.
yeah, but who would have thought Slovakia would be at the top of Group B?
No, I don't think anybody would have thought that Slovakia would be at the top of Group B, but led by their man, Juraj Slafkovsky, who has been an absolute demon
Yeah,
in Milan.
unbelievable. Saw when he went to the Olympics last, he was 17, I believe. Or he played in a tournament, something like that.
for his country.
Yeah, and he scored like 6 goals or something.
Yeah, he's just so good. He shows us time and time again why Montreal selected him first overall, ahead of Shane Wright. If you guys remember in that 2021 draft, he did win the Calder, and he's now putting the whole country on his back to try and usher them to possibly a medal.
Yeah, I would think that'll be a little bit of a stretch, but it may not be.
Possibly,
It may not be.
possibly.
It may not.
Crazier things have happened.
I agree.
Slovakia will make the top 4, and as we talked about, I believe in last episode, the top 4 get a bye, and then the rest of the 8 teams in the tournament will play a kind of play-in sort of matchup to get into the quarterfinals, and the winner of those 4 play-in games will be the away team for the quarterfinals.
Yeah. And I think, obviously it's less games for Canada.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I take the rest.
Yeah, I think it'll be good to see.
Yeah, and so my prediction right now as it stands is it'll go Canada, US, Slovakia, and then
Who's the one extra team? Is it
it
based off of
honestly could be Latvia.
it could be.
It could be Latvia if their score differential is better than Sweden's, because Sweden's score differential, their goal differential, sorry, is not very good. It's a +2.
Okay. Yeah, it's not amazing.
So, I mean, if Latvia can win by a few goals, because they're at -1 right now.
Could it also be Switzerland or Czechia? I know the differential is not looking good for
Either
those
of those teams.
teams.
I think if you're gonna take a team, I would say Switzerland,
Okay.
just because the goal differential is gonna be a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, they had the 4-0 win against France.
They're currently at 0.
Yeah,
So
so
that goal differential is really gonna come down to it.
it's basically based on that Czechia game.
I mean, yeah, this Czechia and Switzerland game, and to be completely honest, like this Czechia, I feel like Czechia is a tougher opponent than
Yeah,
Denmark.
I agree.
So, but we shall see tomorrow. The group stage will be finalized tomorrow, and the athletes will start preparing for the quarterfinals. It's crazy to me to think that we could be playing Sweden or Finland in a quarterfinal match.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd have that big of a test this early.
Obviously, we are going to get the worst seeded team that makes it through.
Most likely, because we're gonna have the biggest goal differential. Hopefully, we'll pass the US unless they have a huge win against Denmark.
Against Germany.
Sorry, Germany. But yeah, I think we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You know, 100% we'll see what happens. And we we just wanted to give you a quick update on the medals as it stands a week and a half in now to the
Yeah,
Olympics.
I think so.
So currently, no surprise, but Norway is leading with 20 total medals, 10 gold, 3 silver, and 7 bronze.
10 gold is a lot, or yeah, is a lot of medals.
Yeah.
Gold medals.
Yeah.
It's insane. And then Italy's next with 18 total medals, not too far behind, with 6 gold medals, 3 silver, and 9 bronze.
Very surprising.
Yeah.
Very surprising. And we'll get to them in a second. But in third place, it's the US with 17 total medals, 5 gold, 8 silver, 4 bronze. And then you do have Canada in 18th place.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
With 8 total medals, 0 gold, 3 silver, and 5 bronze.
But still, it's still up for grabs who's going to get that first gold medal for Canada. Italy is a host nation, so they get special privileges that other nations do not get.
It's the same thing with the World Cup.
Exactly. And they have entry to every single sport, regardless of where they finish. And the discrepancy in where they finished last year and where they are now, or sorry, not last year, but last Olympics, is kind of crazy. Because last Olympics, the whole time, they had 2 gold, 7 silver, 8 bronze for a total of 17 medals. And halfway through the Olympic Games, they have eclipsed this total.
Yeah, they've already gone better.
Tripled the amount of gold that they have.
Yeah, which is kind of insane.
It is. Is it, Ishan, I'm posing this question. Is it based on the program getting better? Or is it that you have more entrants, you just have a bigger chance and there's a greater probability of you you winning more medals?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think, you having that greater entrance, it gives you an opportunity to compete in as many events as possible, which ultimately, will always give you a better chance on winning. But also athletes definitely probably got better. You think about like younger athletes that might have been at those Beijing games and, didn't get to where they wanted to, but athletes improve, they get better over the years and they make a stand in their respective events.
100%. No, I 100% agree. I think it definitely does play a big role as a nation to have the amount of athletes that you do have going because of the privileges of a host nation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also, like, being in your host nation, I think is very crucial as
And
well,
having
like
that
yeah, you
the
have that, like
hometown crowd and
yeah, you think about, like, yeah, all those your family and your fans, they can cheer you on there, and then, like, I think that'll also be, like, going into, like, a Canadian example, just, like, a big part of, like, what the World Cup will be this year.
yeah, and if we go to Vancouver 2010, Canada had the most amount of gold
They
with
did.
14, 7 silver, 5 bronze. They didn't have the most amount of medals, but they had the most amount of gold. And so, yeah, to your point, I think it does play a huge factor, no travel or less travel for sure.
Yeah,
It's maybe a 5-hour train ride from the bottom of Italy to the top.
yeah.
And most of the winter athletes, let's be honest, are coming from the top of Italy.
Anyways, yeah.
They're not going to be coming from the lakes of Rome, which doesn't get any snow or something like that.
Yeah,
So definitely home field advantages.
it'll definitely be a big thing.
Yeah. We'll wrap up with our players of the week. Both of these guys are on pace to break the NHL player Olympic record for points in the tournament,
Which is currently set at 11 points.
set by Timu Salani.
Timu Solani.
Yeah,
I mean, going into the Olympics, there was always a thought about that being broken
yeah.
because you have the likes of McKinnon, McDavid, you have all those players on the US team, and then you have talent that shows up when it needs to. And honorable mention this week has done that.
I I would like to propose a switch.
Okay.
Currently, our honorable mention is this Slovak legend Juraj Slafkovsky,
Yes.
but I think he has been more valuable to his team than McDavid has.
So you think he should be our player of the week?
I think he should be our player of the week.
I don't hate that.
I know he's played more games, and I know he has the same amount of points as McDavid, and I'm sure McDavid will have another 3-point, 2-point outing tomorrow, or possibly more. The fact that this 23-year-old kid has put this country on his back and now has ushered them to a bye into the quarterfinal, I think that's pretty crazy,
It is. It is. And who would like
especially with a lot less help than McDavid's had.
and like he's playing against the likes of Sweden and Finland. Like
Exactly.
those are two teams that were at Four Nations because
Those are two of the four
yeah,
nations.
those are like those Four Nation teams were there because they thought they were the best, and they're getting beat out by Slovakia. So yeah, I don't think that's crazy.
Give it to the kid, Juraj Slafkovsky, as our player of the week.
Yeah, he has 3 goals, 3 assists in 3 games played.
And then obviously McDavid's been on.
Our honorable mention.
We'll mention 1 goal, 5 assists, 2 games played. I'm sure he'll have 4 points tomorrow.
4 points tomorrow. I don't think that's crazy. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but hockey's been electric right now, and so is the Olympics, and I can't wait to see more.
We hope that you continue watching. We will have an update for you and a preview of the gold medal game, which we will release next week. I don't know if we're going to do it before the game or after the game. That's something
Yeah, we'll
we
have
should
to do
decide.
something.
Either a preview or a review.
Maybe a mix of both.
Maybe a mix of both. Yeah, maybe we'll film a little bit before and then get our reactions from the game. Hopefully they're happy reactions. But we have a ton of exciting hockey action and then just Olympics, as Ishan said, in total. So have a good week, guys. Enjoy the action because it only comes around every 4 years.